You know, words can cut deeper than any knife, especially when they come from someone you thought was family. That afternoon, I stood in the doorway of my son's home, holding a small bag of groceries I'd brought over, and his wife looked at me with eyes that were calm but firm. "I'm sorry, but you're no longer welcome here," she said softly, her voice steady like she'd practiced it. I felt my heart drop, a slow, heavy ache spreading through my chest. I didn't argue or raise my voice. I just nodded, because shouting wouldn't change anything. But inside, it felt like the ground had opened up beneath me. I'd raised my son with every bit of love I had, watched him grow into a man, and now, because of tensions that had built over time, I was being pushed out of his life. The sun was shining bright outside, birds singing in the trees, but everything went quiet in my head. How had we gotten to this point? From family dinners full of laughter to standing on the porch like a stranger, I turned and walked to my car, the bag still in my hand, feeling the weight of years pressing down. Tears came later, when I was home alone, sitting at my kitchen table. They were quiet tears, the kind that come from deep regret. I thought about all the times I'd tried to help, to be part of their world, only to be seen as an intrusion. My son hadn't said the words himself, but he stood behind her, silent, which hurt more than anything. Inner thoughts swirled. Had I been too involved? Had my love become too much? But in that hook of a moment, I realized family isn't always forever. Sometimes it's fragile, like glass that shatters without warning. The pain didn't fade quick. I drove home in silence, the radio off, just me and my thoughts. Life goes on, but that day, it felt like part of me had been left behind on that doorstep. Our family started simple, in a small town where everyone knew each other. My husband and I married young, full of dreams. He worked at the factory, long hours, but steady pay. I stayed home with our son, Daniel, our only child. Life was routine: breakfast together, school runs, dinner at 6. Daniel was a joyful boy, with curly hair and a laugh that filled the house. We'd play in the yard, him chasing butterflies, me watching with a full heart. "Mom, you're my favorite," he'd say, hugging tight. Those words kept me going on hard days. When Daniel was 10, my husband got sick. Cancer took him fast, leaving us alone. I worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices mornings, cashier evenings, to keep the roof over us. Daniel helped, mowing lawns for neighbors. "We'll be okay, Mom," he'd say, voice small but strong. We were a team, leaning on each other. High school, Daniel shone. Good grades, soccer team. I'd attend games, cheering loud. "That's my boy," I'd whisper proud. Friends said he was like his dad, kind and steady. College, he went local, commuting to save money. "Don't worry, Mom," he'd say. Weekends, home for laundry and talks. Life felt stable. After graduation, job at bank. Met his wife, Laura, at work. She was sweet, bright smile. First dinner home, I made spaghetti, his favorite. She complimented. "This is wonderful," Daniel beamed. I was happy he deserved love. They dated a year, engaged. I helped plan wedding, sewing favors. Day beautiful, vows touching. I'm so proud, I whispered to him. Married, small apartment. I visited, bringing meals. Laura welcomed. Thanks, Mom, Daniel said. Felt like family growing. Baby news came. Grandchild, I knitted blankets, excited. Birth of little Amy. Held her, tears joyful. She's perfect. Things seemed good. I babysat sometimes, helping new parents. Small tensions started innocent. Laura tired after birth. I offered advice on feeding. We've got a book, she said polite. I nodded, backed off. Visits I cleaned while there. Laura said, no need. Felt hint. Daniel called less. Busy with baby, he'd say. Understood, but missed him. Holidays, they went to her parents first. Fair to share, Daniel explained. I ate alone sometimes, but smiled. Amy's first birthday, I baked cake. Laura had store one. Thanks anyway, she said. Felt extra. Dialogues shortened. How's everything? Good. Inner doubt grew. One day, I dropped by unannounced. Laura frowned. Call first, please, Daniel agreed. Hurt hidden. Seasons passed. Summer outings declined. Laura's family picnic. Fall, Amy's words I heard later. Misunderstandings. I bought toy. Laura said, we prefer educational, apologized. During visit, I held Amy too long. Laura took her. Nap time, Daniel silent. Loneliness built, thoughts. Am I intruding? Holidays strained. Alone more. Sadness calm, turning point sunny day. Brought lunch, hopeful. Laura answered, not good time. Daniel behind. Let in, tension thick. Sat, Amy played, whisper overheard. Always here. Daniel, no. Alone with Daniel, Mom. Laura feels overwhelmed. You're not welcome often. Not welcome, ache deep. Yes, space needed. Laura returned. Sorry, but true, heart broke. Okay, whispered. Left, tears in car. Betrayal quiet. Home, silence loud. Excluded, days empty. No calls, garden alone. Regret swirled, too much. Friends worried, withdrew. Months, birthdays ignored. Realization, boundaries hurt. Call from Daniel. Talk, cafe, apologized. Laura struggled postpartum. Forgave gentle. Visits planned, resolution slow. Calls weekly. Visits short. Held Amy joy back. Laura opened. Scared, sorry. New ways, calls before visits. Peace grew. Grandmother role. Holidays shared. Laughter returned. Tensions talked calm. Garden together, life renewed. Sadness faded, strength found. Closure hugs, understanding. In end, love needs space sometimes. I see now exclusion from pain, not hate. Lesson, listen, give room. Bonds mend with patience. Warmth in family found again. You know, there comes a time when the place you call home no longer feels like yours. That day, I stood in the hallway of my son's house, holding a small gift for my granddaughter, and his wife looked at me with eyes that were steady but distant. I'm sorry, but you're no longer welcome here, she said quietly. her voice even, like she'd thought it over for a long time. I felt a slow wave of sadness wash over me, the kind that makes your chest tight but doesn't bring tears right away. I nodded because arguing wouldn't help and turned to leave, the door closing soft behind me. The sun was setting outside, casting long shadows on the lawn, but inside me, it felt like a light had gone out. I'd given so much to my family, raised my son with love through hard times, and now I was being shut out. How had small misunderstandings led to this? From being the heart of the home to standing on the outside, looking in, I walked to my car, the gift still in my hand, feeling the weight of years pressing down. Later, at home, I sat in my kitchen, the silence heavy around me. Tears came then, quiet ones that rolled down without a sound. I thought about all the times I'd helped, the meals I'd cooked, the advice I'd given. Had it all been too much? My son hadn't said the words himself, but his silence when she spoke them hurt just as deep. Inner thoughts swirled regret for not seeing the signs sooner, sadness for the bond that seemed broken. Family should be a safe place, but sometimes it becomes a door closed in your face. That moment stayed with me, a quiet ache that didn't fade. Life goes on, but that day, it felt like part of my heart was left behind on that doorstep. Our family began in a small town where life was simple and close. My husband, John, worked as a carpenter, building homes for others while we rented our own. I stayed home with our son, Matthew, our only child. Money was tight, but we made do with love. Every morning, I'd make breakfast, eggs and toast, and we'd eat together before John left for work. Matthew was a bright boy, with his father's smile and my curiosity. He'd ask endless questions, and I'd answer patient, feeling blessed. When Matthew was 8, John got hurt on the job. Back injury kept him home, pain making him quiet. I took a job at the local store, evenings mostly. Matthew helped, doing chores without complaint. "We'll get through, Mom," he'd say, hugging me. Those words kept me going. High school, Matthew excelled. Good in math, kind to friends. I'd pack his lunches, note inside, "Proud of you." Weekends, John taught him woodworking, tools in hand. "Steady now," John would say. Bond strong. John passed when Matthew 20. Heart attack sudden. I grieved quiet. Matthew supported me. "I'm here, Mom." We leaned on each other. College, Matthew studied business. Called weekly. "Miss you." Summers home, helping fix house. Graduated, job in city. Met his wife, Rachel, at work. She was warm, soft voice. First dinner, I made pot roast. "Delicious," she said. Matthew happy. Dated year, engaged. I helped with invitations. Wedding beautiful, vows touching. "Happy for you," I whispered. Married, house in suburbs. I visited, bringing plants. Rachel thanked. Felt family expanding. Grandchild news, joy. I sewed quilts. Birth of little Grace. Held her, heart full, beautiful, helped with babysitting. "Thanks, Mom," Matthew said. Things seemed good. Family complete. Small tensions started like whispers. Rachel tired with baby. I offered tips on sleep. We have a routine, she said polite. I nodded. Visits I tidied. Rachel said no need. Felt slight push. Matthew called less. Busy, he'd say. Understood, but missed. Holidays, her family first. Balance, Matthew explained. I smiled, alone sometimes. Grace's birthday, I brought toy. Rachel said, we have enough. Apologized. Dialogues short. How are you? Fine, doubt grew. Dropped by unexpected. Rachel frowned. Call first. Matthew agreed. Seasons changed. Summer invites declined. Rachel's parents visiting. Fall, Grace's steps heard later. Misunderstandings. I cooked meal. Rachel said, our diet different. Felt unwanted. During visit, I read story to Grace. Rachel took book. Bedtime soon. Matthew silent. Loneliness crept. Thoughts too much. Holidays strained. Sadness calm. Turning point cloudy day. Brought soup hopeful. Rachel answered. Not good time. Matthew inside. Let in air heavy. Sat. Grace played. Whisper always coming. Matthew no. Alone with Matthew. Mom, Rachel feels crowded. You're not welcome often. Not welcome, pain deep. Yes, space. Rachel returned. Sorry, but true. Heart shattered. Okay, whispered. Left, rain starting. Betrayed quiet. Home, silence loud. Excluded, days empty. No calls. Garden alone. Regret swirled, too involved. Friends worried, withdrew. Months, birthdays ignored. Realization, boundaries hurt. Call from Matthew. Talk cafe, apologized. Rachel overwhelmed postpartum. Forgave gentle. Visits planned. Resolutions slow. Calls weekly. Visits short. Held Grace joy back. Rachel opened. Scared, sorry. New ways calls before. Peace grew. Grandmother role. Holidays shared. Laughter returned. Tensions talked calm. Garden together. Life renewed. Sadness faded, strength found. Closure hugs, understanding. In end, love needs space. I see exclusion from pain, not hate. Lesson, listen, give room. Bonds mend with patience. Warmth in family found again.